Hey guys, BJTHEBRAVE here, and today I'm going to bring you a new deck list, and this one is a lot of fun, guys. So I was looking at the Eldar units, and I was thinking, man, I really want to play the Wraithknight. That unit looks interesting. What would happen if this thing ever hit the board? Now, let's get the obvious out of the way. This is not like necessarily aiming to be the most competitive deck, and this guy is very slow. Very slow. He's a 10 mana unit, or 10 energy I should say, and he generally doesn't do anything until turn 11. However, that said, I've run a few practice games with him in this deck, and he's actually working quite well, and we are able to actually play the Wraith Knight for 5 energy in this deck, which makes a massive difference. So that means that we can potentially be playing him usually as early as turn 8. So let me show you. What I've done is I've built a shell around Anvia Keltok. And in the last season there was a kind of control Eldar version that was kind of similar, and I kind of used that shell and worked out, how can I build the Wraith Knight. So what have we got in the deck? So first of all, Anvia Keltok, what he is doing for us is essentially he allows us to choose a card every turn that's in our hand and return it to the deck. And in return, we draw a card, and then we also gain 1 Spirit Stone. So unlike Ghaelyn, where Ghaelyn obviously pumps out a Storm Guardian, our opponent can kill the Guardian and kill the stone, so it's not a guaranteed stone, whereas this guy gives us a guaranteed stone. The downside is he doesn't give us the tempo of the Guardian, obviously. So one of the things we've got to try and do in this deck is obviously survive long enough to be able to get the Wraith Knights out. But what Path of Seer does do in this deck really well is help us really manage the hand and choose the cards that we need. So that is a real blessing. So early game, what we're trying to do is stay in the game, stay alive. So we run 2 Wind Riders, really good at removing our opponent's things early game. Things like the Banshee Mask, again, free damage can either be used as removal, or it can be used to stun and hold off big things from hitting us in the face and killing us too quickly. We run a Shroud Runner. Potentially we could run 2. I'd have to perhaps after a bit more play, I might tweak this. I might potentially run a second one, but I don't like the Shroud Runner as much as I like the Wind Rider, so I'm just running 1 for now. We run 2 Striking Scorpions. This card gives us some good early game. Now that the Ultramarines aren't played as much, because this guy used to be quite susceptible to things like Storm Raven, the Striking Scorpion's pretty good. He comes down, he can generally kill an enemy 3-drop quite easily, and he also gives us a way of kind of controlling that we pick up that Waystone, so giving us contributing to our building of Waystones and controlling the board early. We run the Dance of Death because it's a fantastic legendary, and again, when we talk about control, this means that our leader Anvia can get involved in helping to control the board. We run a pivotal card in the Eldritch Storm. The good thing with the Anvia Keltok deck is that Eldritch Storm's one of the best cards in the Eldar. It's one of the best AoEs in the game. The problem with it is not drawing it, and of course Keltok, his ability means that we're much more likely to see this card and be able to get it in our hand when we need it. Now we do run 2 evasive maneuvers. Keltok he's only a 35 health warlord, right? So he is a little bit more squishy, and on top of that, we are going to be a little bit vulnerable in the early game. Even though we're trying to kind of play things and we're going to hopefully draw these things to help us through the early game, that is definitely where we're vulnerable. So we want to have the evasive maneuver to help us in the late game to kind of like heal up and stay alive long enough to get our big guys into play. And the Howling Banshee does the same job, right? The Banshee comes on, it stuns the enemy warlord, and it usually kills an enemy unit and often gives you a Waystone as well. So I love the Banshee. It's actually one of my favourite cards in the aeldari faction. I think it's a really well-designed card, and it's a really powerful card. I like it a lot. So of course we run Fireheart because we have him, and what else do we need to say? Flanker. We obviously want to try and play units to one side of our warlord if we're thinking about setting this guy up so that we can put him in between them and give them invulnerable for a turn. If we can pull that off, brilliant. If not, he's just really good removal for 4 mana, so again keeps us in the game. We do run 2 Witchblade Warlocks now. Again, in terms of early game, I think this card's pretty good. It's got 5 health, it's got decent stats for trading, and it gives us another waystone. So I think it's quite a good tempo card, and again, that's what we need early. We need to be able to keep up with the enemy tempo of, you know, other Eldar decks or orcs and things like that. So currently running 2 of these guys. And then we get into our kind of mid to late game. So what we're running is the double Infinity Circuit, hence the name of this deck, Infinity Wraithknight. We're running 2 Infinity Circuits so that we can play our Reclaim the Stars and refill our hand and discount them by 5, and by doing that we end up with a Wraithknight, for example, for only 5 energy. Now, the good thing is we've got, again, Anvia Keltock's ability means that if we do get stuck with a Wraithknight in our hand, we can use Anvia's Warlord talent to kind of switch that out and send the Wraithknight back into the deck so that we get that kind of discounted Wraithknight. And so that's kind of what we're doing. Obviously, just like you've probably seen in other Eldar decks, our 5 drops are quite important. Apart from the Exarch being brilliant, we have the double Wraithblade, one of my favourite cards again in the Eldar faction. He's basically like a flanking a flanking Lich Guard almost, you know, really cool unit, and it helps to kind of like with his armour and his Vanguard, he helps to kind of again stem the tide and help us to get into the late game. And also, to a slightly less effect, but the Spirit Seer does a similar thing, right? He's a really good body, and he dumps a Wraith Guard. Occasionally we'll play the Spirit Seer on his own in a pinch, but generally speaking, if we've managed our Spirit Stones well early game, we should be able to play him out where we can put the Wraith Guard out. And again, the other thing about these 2 units, being the Spirit Seer and the Wraithblade, is that if we get them off of Reclaim the Stars play, then they are 5 energy units that we get to play for 0, which is a super powerful turn of tempo. Last but not least, obviously we run the Crimson Hunters because they give us the anti-flyer and they're really good flyers themselves, and we also run our Wailing Doom as an alternative finisher, and the big boys themselves. We've got double Wraithknight. That's right, we are going all in on the double Wraithknights, and the name of this game is can we survive long enough to make sure that this guy actually comes down. When he does come down, he's insane, guys. Honestly, the gaining invulnerable. So I would say it's about knowing your matchups. Like if you're playing against orcs, for example, that could be pretty good. Maybe again against marines as well. Like, have they got hard removal basically? Like if you're playing against Eldar, don't bother with it. You don't need it at all. So I think knowing like when you need the invulnerable and when you don't is key. But honestly, most often than not, you kind of don't need it. But once this guy's down, he is a menace, right? He's doing 8 shuriken damage, so he's generally killing things before we even like trade. And then he does an additional 6. So, you know, obviously this guy can help us finish the game and close out. He can pretty much trade and deal with anybody in the game. So he's superb. So that's the deck. Let's jump into some games and see how we get on. Don't think we need Eldritch Storm in this matchup. Oh, it's a bot. Oh, God. So we want a Scorpion, and then deal 3 damage. Oh no, it's random. Oh no. Oh man, that's just not fair. The only good thing about that is we follow it up with the Warlock, and we get to kind of like keep the tempo.
If this guy dies now, then we've got that turn. But if not, we can always play the... I mean, we can keep him alive here, right? I think the correct thing to do here would be to Banshee. Pick that up. Say hello. Heals and draws, okay. I wish we had the Infinity Circuit. This would be a great turn to use that. Definitely put the Wraithknight back. Double Warlock, that's cool. So we should really try and make use of their spells, right? We'll put one of these back because we've got two in hand. Attack with that. Okay, so we have got the Infinity Circuit, that's good. Don't know, do we need Eldritch Storm in this game? If we were going to play Eldritch now might be the time, right? Wait, what? Camouflage? Yeah. Okay. I think we just use this and put something back. What do we put back? I think we put the Wailing Doom back. Oh, he's a problem. we just drop the Wraithknight? Yeah, I think we do. I didn't really want him to be invulnerable, but... Does really help against the orcs, though. There's no messing with this thing, guys. There's just no messing with it. That animation takes forever. Once again, 8 shuriken damage. Kills that without even having to trade. Win. Okay, Infinity Wraithknights. Looks like we're taking on big Abaddon. Ghaelyn. So he just chills and heals himself up. So here we're going to drop the Scorpion and just pass. Okay, so that does trade with that, doesn't it? What's the other option? Don't think there is another option, is there? Okay, we got the combo there. What would be good is putting the Crimson Hunter back here. Yeah. Nice, Banshee's nice. That's a bit of a problem, so we're going to have to really just play the stones here and take it this turn, I think. Because of the stealth, we can't do anything with the Banshee. Good news though is if he overdevelops, we can Eldritch Storm now. To be honest, we might just Eldritch Storm anyway. Thing is, it's not a guarantee that it kills it. Okay, we got a bit lucky there. Next turn we go off though, boys. Ah. Or do we? We really need to kill that. Can we kill it? 4, 7, 9. We can kill that, technically. We can do... We could use 4, 3. We could use that 7 mana. And then kill with that. Or do we just do 4? I think maybe we just do 4. And then this. Do we actually just use this? I think we use that actually. Because we might need the stun later. He's trying to get something to stick. That's why I didn't go off that turn. I think we're definitely going to go off this turn because if we go off this turn and we pull a Crimson Hunter, we can play it for 1 mana. Here we go. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Camouflage is really saving him there. So I think we're just going to play this out and block. We might also just play this. Yeah. Sorry mate, you can't attack this turn. So good that, right? Because obviously Banshee Mask, we can't target him because of camouflage, but that's not the Howling Banshee is not a spell. So it works really well. Nice. Okay, so we want to play this guy, which is 4. Put him over here. Do that, make this guy invulnerable. Just play that on there for now. I think we will put something back. We're going to put that back. Just because we have a cheaper one. Okay, this is looking good, boys. Oh, he got the 6. Oh man, he high rolled us on that. That's annoying. That is annoying. Okay, so we want to get a little bit proactive here, don't we? Now he has just used one of his AoEs, but he hasn't used Traitor's Hate yet, so he could use that to kill the Scorpion. Okay, let's go Crusade instead. Quite a lot that needs to die here. So how best to do this? Could really do with the wraithknight. Ah! Got us again. Got us again, dude. Oof. I think the Wraithknights have just come a bit too late for us, really. We really had an opportunity to see them work here. Okay, so that has to go down. It's pretty much useless here. Well played. Yeah, we just missed that window. Okay, so we're playing the temper variant. Mr. Slither. Oh, I'm so glad I got one back. It's twice we've put a card back and then got the same one back. I'd like to get the Lich Guardi-esque units down against aeldari. So the thing with his deck versus ours is that his deck does run out of steam. We have definitely got the better late game, so we just need to play as control and hope we don't take too much damage to face. Be really mindful of Wailing Doom. And the other finisher he's got here is Hemlock. See how much of a problem this card is for him. Banshee again here. It's not the strongest player. Okay, so these are all spirits then. Now this is usually where the Eldritch Storm's pretty good, right? Turn he does this. Yeah, this is a very much an Eldritch Storm turn. Yeah, I can't take 5 to face. So I think what we'll do is we'll get our two stones back again and drop this.
Shadows are always vigilant.
Yeah, that was nice. Nice storm. Now we're up to turn 8, so this is where... Okay, that's the second spirits here. We want to hold this for his flyer, right? Interesting. So we have the stars, but we don't have the stones. I'm wondering whether Dance of Death and Banshee Mask works here. If we Dance of Death, we can kill that, and that kills into that with Mask. It's alright. It's not brilliant. No, it's not brilliant. So I think instead, what we do is we take this out ever so elegantly. We stun this. Yeah, I prefer this line, I think. Careful not to overcommit into his storm. Ah, so now he gets his Dance of Death on. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. boys. Boys, 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 boys. This could be it. This could be it.
Shadows are always vigilant.
I know we can play Wraithknight next turn. I really want to reclaim the stars, I think, first. Just kind of get the tempo swing, shut him out a bit, and then drop the Wraithknight to win. And also, if we don't do it now, we're going to end up with, yeah, 2 full of hands. So let's do this. We could actually Wailing Doom now and kill that. I quite like that, you know. Okay, yeah, this is looking good. Anyone for a cheap Wraithknight? Oh boy. What we can actually do now, watch this. So we can actually use our Infinity Circuit. And then drop this to clear the board. And then go. And then just go. Hello. And even more importantly, hello. Oh boys, oh this is so funny. And he's even got the invulnerability. He's like, what do I do with that? I guess I play a Vanguard. Yeah, nice. Oh, look at that Wailing Doom. Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy. Wailing Doom, you're so yummy. Ooh, tasty. Come on, dude. For the win. Here we go. Bah! Double trouble. Oh, well played, Sliver. Good sportsmanship as well there, staying in the game. He's a good guy. Oh man, that was fun. That was cool, man. So there we go, guys. There's the Infinity Wraithknights deck, and obviously, I just want to say, you know, this is a fun deck. You know, it's. I'm not saying this is kind of gonna guide you to the top of ladder, but if you want to have some fun and use the Wraithknight as I wanted to, you know, just seen some games there from my climbing the top. I think I was like top 30 actually when that happened. And you know, but it is clunky. It is a bit difficult to pull off, but it's a lot of fun when you do. I definitely think it's worth, you know, pulling out the Wraithknights and just kind of running this for like 3 games just to have a bit of fun. And what I've got here for you as well is I thought I'd just build you a slightly different list as well. So this one is based more around Ghaelyn. So if you were struggling with the Anvia deck, this one just keeps up a bit better with the tempo, but it doesn't have that kind of deck management that the Anvia build had. You know, I quite like being able to put the Wraithknights back and then draw 1 on 5. So because of that, I've only run 1 Wraithknight in here. If you don't have Wailing Doom, then obviously you could put the second one in. But obviously the difference in this one is that if you've got the Wraithknight in hand, then you can't put him back. But yeah, it's just a slightly different way of playing it. So, I mean, again, it's a fun build. Have some fun with it. Try it out. You may well come up with an even better build than me. Of which case, if you do, let me know in the comments. I'd love to try your deck out for a few games. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see more kind of like fun, creative builds, not just top tier meta builds. You know, I'm here to kind of like provide the kind of content you guys want to see, so just let me know. Thanks for the watch, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.